Hi Bollywood.id lovers, apa kabar? Gimana masih lockdown? Tapi jangan khawatir, ada show hari ini. Kita adalah menghadirkan Natasha Moore. Ini inspirasi life-nya dia karena kemarin dia terjangkit virus COVID-19 and awal-awal pandemic ini. And Natasha mau share sama kita life story dia, bagaimana dia survive dan kembali menghirup udara bebas bersama orang-orang tercintanya. Hello Jakarta, this is Aruna Harjani for Bolly.id. I'm so happy to see all of you. Thank you for all your support. And today we're featuring Natasha Moore. And as we all know, Natasha has been infected with the virus and COVID-19, and she's here today to talk about it and explain what really happened. Natasha, are you there? We're waiting for you. I think Natasha is still coming online. In the meantime, I hope you guys are having a good time. Just relax, come and watch. 9 o'clock later, we're having another show. It's LOL with Kumar. Kumar is a very well-known comedian from Singapore. And yes. Natasha is coming now online in about a minute.
Hi.
Hi, Natasha. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. How are you?
Okay, good. How's Hong Kong? I heard it's very happening there.
Yeah, it's getting back to normal finally. So that's good. It's actually so much better than I expected it to be post-hospital.
Okay, now Natasha, since we only have 55 minutes, hardly an hour with Instagram.
Yes.
And I think we better start because we're also excited to hear your story, what happened, and can you please share with us exactly what happened during when you were infected with the virus? I mean, how did you know you were, you had?
So you want me to start with basically how I discovered I had it? Walk you through the steps. Okay, so first of all, hi guys. I'm COVID free now, so just need to put a little disclaimer out there. I'm completely healed, but the how I found out I got the virus was actually I'm a person that travels a lot. I'm literally on the go every couple of days, and when I was landing from London, I felt a little bit different. I was sick. I couldn't sleep. I was sick, and I was feeling really like a lot of body aches, and then I couldn't sleep, and then I finally, when I did go to sleep, I slept for a really long time. So for me, that's not normal, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's just jet lag. You're fine. Everything's okay." And so I decided to take care and be really cautious about it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the hospital and just check this out. I didn't see my mom. I saw my dad for a bit, but I didn't really give him a hug. I didn't shower in the same bathroom. I was really, 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 really careful about this. I was obviously sanitizing. A lot of people actually seemed to ask me if I was safe on the plane, if I would sanitize. I was extra careful with everything. And it's just something that you can't really prevent unless you're away from, you don't know how you're going to get it. So that's kind of how it started. And when I went to the hospital, I thought at the back of my mind, I was like, I don't know if I have this virus, but I don't get sick like this. So maybe I do. And then I did the tests, and finally, after a day of waiting in that hospital, in a little room, they finally told me, can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So they finally told me that, yes, I was tested positive with the virus. And then from there, it's just kind of, that's how the whole process was. I just couldn't believe it. I was in shock. They put
Mm-hmm.
ECG. They did all the tests on me, the really painful nose test, which is
Mm-hmm.
like the
The
infamous
SWAT.
nose test. Yeah, the swab test.
Mm-hmm.
They put ECG monitors on me. Everything was just, it was quite intense. I couldn't sleep at night. I was tossing, turning, sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was basically the first couple of days in the hospital. And then
Mm-hmm.
they told me that there was no cure and that I'd have to be on several medications. And I think for me, just being such a health conscious person, I didn't want to put all those medications in my body. But the doctors were like, you know what? This is the best way for you to kind of get a cure or to kind of solve your situation right now. And so in my head, I said, okay, I'll just, obviously you take the doctor's advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that,
Where did you think you got this virus?
so before I was traveling quite a bit. Before I left London, it was like a crisis point at that point. It was like my flight from Amsterdam got canceled, so I had to last minute fly to London. And then in London itself, you could see that it was just so hectic at the airports. People were all trying to escape. The flights were full. People were trying to
Mm-hmm.
escape their London if they were students or whatever it may be to go back home to Hong Kong. So the flight was completely packed. And I really do believe that I got it either on the flight or at the airport in the lounge or something like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
And it
went
was
you
really new. I caught it within a few days.
9 days?
It was, yeah, within 9 days, like I was sick and I was on and off. But then when the doctors were like, you caught it really early because it was just going to get worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you feel were you nervous that oh my God, I have it? I mean, it's like a worldwide pandemic. Like people are all over talking about it, and you got it.
Yeah.
Was
I
that
think
fear there? That oh my God.
yeah, in that moment, and especially because you're not allowed to see your family, you're not allowed to really, you're not surrounded by anyone. And at the time in Hong Kong, it was new-ish, but people were just kind of like, the nurses were scared for their own lives to be near me. So that
Yeah.
for me was like, oh my God, this is scary. I think for me that really shocked me. And when they put all the monitors on me, I think that made me freak out. I was like, okay, I have this virus. Then when I spoke to the doctors on the phone, because they didn't come to see me, that's when I
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, there's a potential that I could possibly die from this, even though I'm young and fit and healthy. Like, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. I think every person that I spoke to who had COVID kind of went through the same thing. They did think at
Mm-hmm.
one point, like, am I going to get out of here or am I going to get better? So that was definitely on my mind quite a bit.
Sorry, Natasha. You said that the doctors. You spoke to the doctors over the phone. Means they didn't
Yeah,
come and see you.
no, because I kind of understand their situation. At that point, they don't want to get infected and then they're not able to help other patients or that they come in contact with someone. I even said to them, I'm like, wait, are you going to see me? You're just going to medicate me. You're going to inject my stomach. You're going to give me antibiotics and then you're not going to come see me. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. I was a little aggressive in the beginning because I thought, how can you do this to a patient? I'm human. And
Mm-hmm.
then I started to think about it and just think, it is what it is. It's a pandemic, but if they get infected, their families, their friends, their patients, more importantly, they can't heal them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was scary in that sense. That was more scary than the actual pain of the virus.
Oh my God. And how was it on your first week of isolation? You
My
were
first
alone.
week was the scariest because the medication was strong. So the
Mm-hmm.
side effects of the medication were I was taking like so many pills every day. The side effects were diarrhea, vomiting,
Mm-hmm.
nausea.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that probably the medication made me more sick than the actual virus because at that point, like you're taking in so much, and the side effects of that just made me a bit woozy. And the injections on my stomach, they weren't painful, but the after effects were horrible. They were
Mm-hmm.
just, and then you're sitting on a bed for ages. You can't even walk around the hospital because if you walk around the hospital, you might infect others. So you're literally restricted to your own bed. And at that time, for the first couple of days, I was in a private room. So that was nice. I had my own bathroom. And then the virus, I mean, the situation in Hong Kong started getting so bad that
Mm-hmm.
people were like, the rooms were filling up. And then we just had to move into a room with 6 people at the time. And that was scary for me.
And what was going on in your mind for that first week? Alone? Just doctors who don't, nurses you don't
Doctors would
know?
see me. Yeah, I was initially, I think it was, I started off a little bit sad and scared, and then obviously my friends and family were so supportive and loving and
Mhm.
would call me all the time. So I kind of thought, okay, you know what, but I was so tired from the medication also that I didn't have time to think about the negativity. Then it got worse for me mentally as the days went by, because I was in the hospital for 34 days. So
Okay.
in the beginning, it wasn't as bad as like maybe day 28. I was like, get me out of here. Right?
No, but you stayed quite long in the.
Yeah.
How did
It was long. It was long.
how did how your mindset? What's your mindset changing week after week?
Yeah.
First
It,
week, okay, you're angry, probably scared,
yeah.
fear, uncertainty. But second week, how did you make use of that time there in the hospital?
So first, I wasn't really, I had no time to really, I was trying to watch TV because I don't watch TV. I don't have time for all these things. So I thought, I'm going to enjoy this. No one
Mm-hmm.
is, I don't have to work. I can chill. I can watch Netflix on my phone. That's all I had. So I
Mm-hmm.
was just watching Netflix and kind of sleeping early, trying as much to sleep and rest and get this medication out of my system. But because I was on such heavy drugs also, I didn't have time to think. So let's say that was like first week. 14 days of medication, first of all. The second week after that, I was a bit more agitated, I guess a little more irritated at the fact that I was there. I'm not going to lie, I was definitely difficult to my family and obviously my boyfriend, everyone. Like, I was just like, I'm angry, I'm here, it's irritating, I don't want to be in this situation. And no one understands what I'm going through. You guys don't know. It was a lot of that. But they were just with me 24/7, calling me, bothering me. When are you coming out of the hospital? When are you coming out of the hospital? And I'm like, I I really don't know. And then the third week into it, I think that's when I was like, I decided to start doing makeup tutorials to get my mind off the negativity. I started to become public about it because I thought, you know what, people need to know what's going on, and they're all confused, they're all scared, there's random gossip going on. I might as well help people while I can in some
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept myself busy with social media, even though it was a little bit harmful as well as peaceful for me. I think it was a two-way thing.
So these things were the ones kept you going in that 34,
Yeah,
34 days, right?
34 days.
34 days.
Yeah.
Okay, how was it when you were already told that you're well, you're okay, you were diagnosed, cured? How was it when you stepped out of the hospital
Hmm.
and you saw the clouds, you saw the sky, you saw cars, probably ambulance cars outside the hospital? How was that
Yeah.
feeling?
So the place that I was in, the ward I was in, was actually 6 different beds and curtains. So I didn't even have a window. So every time I'd go out to shower, I'd have to call to use a bathroom and to shower. There'd be one window that I'd be peeking at like all the time, like a loser, just like, oh, I can't wait till I'm out of here. And obviously, I would cry every day. But this, if my family, like, you guys know what I'm like, I am quite a cartoon character like that. I don't like to take things too seriously. So towards the end of the virus, I have to explain. So they test you every day after you've taken your medication. So they
Mhm.
put that thing up my nose about 18 times every
Oh
morning
my.
at 6 a.m. Like blood injections, I mean, blood draws, this, that, and then on top of that, the nose thing. So I think one day I got a negative. I was like, yes, I'm coming out of the hospital. I didn't tell everyone. I told just my boyfriend and a few of my close friends. I didn't tell my parents because you have to have 2 negatives before you're out. I
Mhm.
didn't want them to get so excited. even though even in my head I was like, I'm coming out tomorrow. I think this was like day 26, let's say. So I told my boyfriend. He was so excited that I saw this like joy in his face. And then the next day it turned out to be a positive. And that broke me down. I think I had a crazy breakdown. I was like, wow, I'm never getting out of here. And then it just kept becoming positive and positive, and then half positive, half negative for 2 days. And I just thought, oh my God, what if I never get out of this hospital? And what if I'm never cured from this virus? I really thought. So it kind of gave you a teaser of like this negative result, and then you expect it. So I cried a lot. I remember that was my lowest point when I had that little thing. And then even the nurses were like, no, don't worry, don't worry. I did a couple of salt cleansing things for my nose. Did the craziest things to try. And I was trying everything that people were telling me to do, like really weird ritual things. And some things that I didn't even want to do, I did. And then finally, when I got a negative, I didn't tell anyone. I kept it I really didn't tell anyone this time. And only my face kind of showed. So again, I told my boyfriend and I said, do not get excited, but I got a negative. But I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. And I think we were all just kind of like, I didn't tell my mom and my dad because again, that would just break their hearts, you know? So then on the next day, I remember this day so clearly. It was 1 p.m. and every day my shower time was about 4 p.m. if I was lucky. Otherwise, they'd like switch around. So I had 4 p.m. shower time. So I thought, okay, I'm finally at 4. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shower really long. Then at 5:30, they're going to tell me my result. So I sat and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm just like cleaning up. I already like packed my stuff aside, my clothes, and I'm sitting there like, I know I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. But then my hands were sweating and I thought, oh my God, what if I'm not? In that moment, I can't really explain to you what I felt. I think I was freaking out. And at 5 a.m., it was supposed to be 5 p.m. sharp that they call me. At 5 a.m. sharp, at 5 a.m., my boyfriend's time, he calls me. He's like, did you get the result? Did you get the result? And I'm like, no, they haven't given it to me yet. Then the nurse comes in and she does my blood draw again. So I was like, oh God, no, this means I'm positive again. So I'm freaking out. And then I called the nurse. I'm like, come on, you told me it'll be a negative, please. And then even we did this like negative dance. I was being silly with the nurses. And then she didn't say anything and I didn't hear anything. So I just sat there and I prayed and I meditated and I did everything. I couldn't even focus on meditation at that point. I was just like, I don't know, whatever it is, I'm happy that I'm safe, but please get me out. And at this point, you have no symptoms, right? So you're going even more crazy being in a room where there's nothing physically wrong with you, but you're not being let home. So then finally I hear, Natasha. I'm like, what? So then I called the nurse. I said, yeah. She's like, congratulations. And I said, what? What do you mean congratulations? What do you mean? So I went outside and I'm like, what? And then she's like, put on your mask. So they all were shouting at me. So I had to put on my mask. And then she's like, wait. And she's signing papers. And then she said, congratulations, you're negative. You can leave. You can pack all your things, call your family. And I was like, I don't want anything from here. I pretty much moved into the hospital. I had a water kettle. I had like everything, pillows. So I just said, I'm leaving. Please, I'm leaving. So I disinfected my handbag and I just ran out. She's like, your family's here? I said, no, I'm leaving. And I ran out of the hospital and I waited for a taxi. And I remember standing outside. It was raining and I just froze and I started crying. I was like, oh my God, I'm free. Oh my God, I'm free. And I just couldn't believe it. It was definitely a moment I'll never forget.
Okay. And of course, you reached home.
Yeah, I reached home. I did a doorbell and my dad opened the door and he was like, oh, he was in shock. And I said, I'm free. And then I called my mom, like, Mom, I'm home. I'm free. She ran home. So I think everyone was just in shock and crying and screaming. And then they were like, what do you want to do? You're free. I'm like, I want a glass of wine. So we just sat, and both my parents don't drink. They're like, okay. So we all had a glass of wine together and just chilled. And that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to go out. I just wanted to be home, be on my bed, and just
Mm.
relax. And that's really what I did for a few days.
Okay, you were there for 34 days.
Yes.
What was the change? What is, was there any change in you?
A lot. I
Mhm.
always think that every step in my life, every hurdle that I've had to cross, I've ov- I don't want to say I've matured, but I've definitely become a different person, or been able to deal with things a lot better. So I
Mhm.
think after the hospital, I already have gone through a phase of just cutting out negative energy, and just because of the field that I'm in and the person that I've sort of become, I do, and because of how public I kind of have to be with certain things, I like, I think for me to cut out toxic people, that's something that was, I had to focus on. So I think after the hospital, I just realized that my I know who's there for me, and I know who I love, and I know the kind of people that I need to be around. And I
Mhm.
think that it made me realize that I should use my voice, whatever voice that I do have, to speak freely for what I want, and to really just be able to help people the way I want to help, without people telling me what's right and what's wrong. I think
Mhm.
it just made me a lot stronger. And initially it made me, like, when I just got out of the hospital, I'm not gonna lie, I think I suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, because like you're in, and also, by the way, the hospital does call you and tell you if you need psychiatric help, because you've been
Mhm.
alone for 34 days.
Yeah.
Hong Kong's great like that. They provide you with all of this. And I just thought, no, it's okay. I'm just gonna do my own thing. I have my spiritual healer that I go to. So I kind of did all those things, but I definitely did suffer a lot. One was because I've always been such, like, I've always been a very public. So even with fitness and health, I obviously in the hospital was not able to exercise as much as I normally do. My diet
Mhm.
was not great, because as much, like, even though my health coach was sending me food a lot, I was still having to eat rice every day and stuff that my body wasn't used to because of the medication I was on. So I think just coming out of that, I obviously wasn't happy with my body, with my image, with the way I looked. And being in this industry, you have to be confident. And one thing I lack and have always lacked in life has been confidence.
Mhm.
So I think my insecurities were building. Um, and then I just learned how to deal with that. Um, and after the hospital, and after realizing who my true friends and family are, I've decided that I really want to make time for those that matter. And
Mhm.
yes, focus on work, continue that, but don't be such a crazy workaholic, and really make time for the ones I love. I think that's something I definitely have figured out.
Okay. You had some facial care during
Yeah.
our isolation. What's this all about? Because many of us are in quarantine, still feeling a bit low.
Yeah.
How would you like to cheer up women with, I don't know, facial care or makeup or, you know?
So when I was in the hospital, I obviously had limited access to things. So I thought, you know what? If I'm gonna try, I can't go for a facial. I don't have a steamer. So what could I use? I had a hot water kettle. So I used that to steam my face. I did a couple of makeup tutorials. I was forced to eat a banana every day by my mom. And banana is not allowed in my diet normally because it has sugar. It's a lot of sugar. So
Mm-hmm.
but obviously my mom wanted me to be on my A game and be healthy, and you need that sort of energy to build. So I did have it, but then I used the banana skins as like a facial mask. And I did all these stupid things, but I think that just made me happy, and also obviously made the nurses really happy to come do my blood test, and I have like a banana skin under my eye.
Anyway, and but okay, Tash, you have your Natasha More Cosmetics, okay?
Yes.
Are you anyhow planning to use it to create awareness about this pandemic or just be
So
like,
one of the things I was actually planning to do in the hospital,
mm-hmm,
because you see what's going on in the inside, so with the nurses, with the doctors, I just really wanted to be able to, I actually wanted to start a fundraiser, because
mm-hmm,
I said, you know, I have a voice, people will listen, people will want to support a
yeah,
cause.
mm-hmm,
um but there was this is one thing I really want to address in the future when I'm actually able to get a bigger voice, to have a bigger voice. I wasn't able to do any sort of fundraising because of certain things that as a public figure, I would have to deal with tax problems. Because if I'm raising, this was so scary for me. So I would really like to address it actually. Like, I wanted to just be able to get money, get fundraising, buy masks, and send it out to hospitals around the world or villages or whatever it may be. But to do that, for example, as a business owner, I really, if I asked you, Auntie Runa, if I asked you to support me, and you go and you're working for a company, and you use your salary to donate, and you request a receipt, then I get tax. Like, there's a lot of tax things that happen that get me into trouble. So it was just like sitting in that hospital bed. I was like, how can I not be able to help from in here? I don't understand. And it was just so many things. The only way that you could help was by giving someone by giving an organization money, which is something I have my whole initiative called Do More, which is what I'm completely against. I don't want to go give money to huge organizations that already have all that funding. I want to physically be able to do things myself, give it to people, or give my time, or give whatever it is, so that you know where your money is going, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's something that I really wanted to do, but obviously wasn't able to do. But eventually, when my brand and my business grows bigger, that's something, not just in terms of COVID, but in terms of like helping out, that's something I really want to focus on. My Do More initiative is growing, and we are actually hoping to have our own little organization within the next year.
Okay, great. So, Tash, what would you advise your generation regarding COVID-19? As you know, everybody was saying that only the old people the senior citizen over 40, 50 are likely to be infected. But
Yeah.
in your case, you're hardly 30 years old, and
Yeah. And I eat healthy, I work out. So it's actually, I think a lot of people were just in shock with the fact that I got the virus. They were like, what? How is that even possible? But I think you don't know how it's going to hit, and you don't know when it's going to hit. And you just have to be really careful. I was really careful. And you really do have to listen to these lockdown rules. I guess in Hong Kong now things are calming down a little, but everyone's still wearing a mask. Everyone's still like really careful of what they're doing. I guess more than just, you do have to just be cautious. I know it's really sad and boring and lonely to be at home right now. I can only imagine. Just be really grateful that in Indonesia, you guys have mask houses. You're not, at least, or even if you don't, you have like the luxury of being comfortable, right? In a place like that. Whereas in Hong Kong, had we been in lockdown, we live in little shoe boxes, literally shoe boxes. So just be grateful for those things, I guess. Make use of your time. A lot of people are finding their passion now, which is so good. I never had time to cook, and I love cooking, and I'm finally in a kitchen like almost every day. I'm learning new recipes. I'm using this time to tap into my soul. Does that make sense? To do the things that my soul loves.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's really important for people to do.
Tash, there's a question here.
Yes.
You mentioned that you wanted to use your voice to spread awareness and fundraise. What would you advise people who are afraid that their voices are too small but want to make a difference?
First of all, no voice is too small, because I can think that. I mean, I'm like a little potato compared to the rest of the world, right? So I think that anything that you want to do that's good for the world, you should do it. You should follow your heart. And one thing is, I did mention that I have a lot of insecurities and I never really had confidence growing up. But the one thing I did always do is I always believed in myself. So even if my business is not doing so well, or like now I'm really, really stressed about my brides and their lives and the situation, of course, but I'm always going to believe that I can do whatever I put my heart into. So it's the same with your voice. If you really believe in something, you should
Mm-hmm.
speak your mind. And if you're worried about what people think, that's the last thing you should worry about, because everyone is going to talk, whether you're a nice person, whether you're a bad person, whether you just whatever you are, they're going to have to say something about you. Whether you're wealthy, whether you have no money, it's just, it is what it is, right? It's not just also in our society, it's literally in every culture. You're going to have people who don't always have your back and don't have nice things to say. So don't ever be scared about speaking up, because you should really just trust yourself.
Tash, how is the makeup going to be after this, when we're after this pandemic? I mean, after lockdown. How do you
So
how do you think how's the makeup industry or I don't know, trend, the makeup trend, how's it gonna be?
the trend. So I think overall, for example, if we talk about the wedding industry, I think there are different ways how it's going to change. But for makeup, I think a bride still always wants to wear what she wants and looks the way she wants. Her
Mm-hmm.
events may cut down in size, her guest size may cut down, the venues may change, but at the end of the day, she's always going to want to look the way she's dreamed,
Yeah,
right? And she's
exactly.
always, so I think in that sense, makeup artists, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry, have faith that things will finally follow through. And I mean, that's how I'm thinking. And also, I do have all my brides next year, and more, I do have bookings for next year already. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that they are just excited to look pretty. It doesn't matter. And you know what? It's actually, I think it's a beautiful thing, because I love the intimacy of a beautiful small wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Or when it's just about family and friends and like the people you really want there. I think that's really beautiful. And I think that if a makeup artist is worried about her career in the future, I don't think you should be. I think people are always going to want to feel beautiful. So you're always going to be required.
Okay, so Tash, the weddings next year, you're saying you already got bookings.
Yes, of course. So
Uh,
but people are scared to finalize their dates. But they
mm-hmm.
do have plans. They're trying to reschedule as much as they can. They're
Great.
trying to
Okay.
be, yeah. They still want to get married. People still want to get married.
Okay, and what about how is the industry affected? The
Which
cosmetic
in
industry
the
with
cosmetic,
this back,
you
yeah,
know,
lockdown.
this is a very interesting fact. This is
Mm-hmm.
actually called the lipstick effect. And what happens in a crisis in the world is when, for example, when everyone's, financially restricted, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously a lot of businesses are failing at this moment, or not failing, I don't like that word, are in difficult times. There is something called the lipstick effect. And actually right now, lipsticks have gone up in 80% of sales, because people are willing to spend money on
Mm-hmm.
something that makes them feel good, but they're not going to go and buy a designer bag or designer shoes at this very moment.
Yeah,
So
true.
what's going to make you feel good right now? Changing your lipstick. So I think the cosmetics industry in that sense, it's a feel good factor. You're always going to want to feel beautiful, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's something that you will continue. I actually think the cosmetics industry is going to explode.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the best way that you can really make yourself feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what our brand is also all about. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just about applying the product, it's about the feeling you get from inside when you have your face done or when you feel good.
Yeah. So what's the color for this after lockdown, Tash? What's the
For
color
this
trend?
season,
Is it gonna be
hmm,
bright red because we're all been so locked at home, off
you
school,
know
everything
what?
is, huh?
Don't know, but that being said, I've been wearing, I'm boring, you know this. I always wear my nudes and my browns. But
Yeah.
I have been wanting to wear a red, but I've also been really intimidated. But I think after the mask situation, maybe like next year, people will want to
Mhm.
show off their sexy lips and wear some crazy colors. That's for sure.
What's
That's for
you have
sure.
any new colors in your lipstick stash? What's your latest colors?
Well, actually, we're launching a bunch of new products, not just lipsticks,
Okay.
which I can't mention just yet, but really, really cool products. It's also because of the situation with COVID. Our factories are in Italy and Turkey and Europe. So we're just kind of trying to figure everything out. We were
Mhm.
launching in a bunch of stores in the US, which we've pulled
Mhm.
out of, just so that right now we can launch on our own platform on natashamore.com. And
Mhm.
then we're still in Sephora in Southeast Asia, which is amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing. So if you guys want to continue to support, please do.
Ito, Tash, during this partial lockdown,
Yeah.
what cosmetic is an upper? You know, an upper making, something
Lipstick.
boost you. Just
Oh,
lipstick.
lipstick and lashes, because I mean, a lot of people, I used to wear lash extensions, the permanent ones, the 4 week, semi-permanent, the 4 week ones. And
Mm-hmm.
I have only my mascara on right now because
Okay.
yeah, that's a product that I have already advertised that we're launching soon. Because I got so used to not having my lashes in the hospital, I said, you know what? I don't need to rely on fake lashes. I need to
Mm-hmm.
start mascara using products that of my own and start using mascara. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
these are just mascara lashes, and I love it. It's so much lighter.
Okay. Yeah, because I think we might need this. We have so many activities in Zoom, Tash, and
Yeah,
sometimes we just don't want to have our whole hair up. And many a times in Zoom, I mean personally, whenever I'm in Zoom, I put a little powder and lipstick because
yeah,
I don't want to look haggard.
of course. Of course. You know
So
what's a really cool trick is if I did this video once, a Zoom, if you have a Zoom call and you want to just brighten up your face and look fresh, obviously
yeah.
you're wearing pajamas on the bottom, don't lie, right? But on
Yeah.
your face, if you use one of my molten mattes, let's say like a pinky color like CEO on your lips, you just put a little on your cheeks, and
Mm-hmm.
it lasts forever and looks so glowy and dewy, and you can just put a little bit on your eyes and then you're good to go for Zoom. So it's like a quick Zoom call trick. Zoom
And
date.
what about eyeliner and all? Do we put? I mean,
Yeah, of course. But on camera, you can't really see everything. So if you have like I'm saying if you have like 3 minutes to do your makeup, the a
Mm-hmm.
quick trick is literally just dab, 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 and then dab.
Oh, okay. That's great. Okay, Tash, there's another
Yeah.
kind of this
Yes.
one here. Okay. The pandemic has affected everyone one way or another in every corner of the world.
Yeah.
Could you just share some words to anyone that's hurting in any way, either physically, emotionally, and even financially? Um, what's your advice on keeping the spirits high? Since you've been there, 34 days, you know how it is, you know.
Yeah. I think my advice is don't believe everything you see on Instagram. If
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously in a time like this, all we do is just check social media, and sometimes it just makes you feel low because you're like, how are these people enjoying having their fancy lunches and dinners, and I'm financially struggling. I'm not gonna lie, even my life looks so glamorous all the time, and that's why just yesterday I posted like a bloody photo of a cut, and I thought this is so weird for me to do, but you know what, people need to know the real struggles that go behind the scenes. And in a situation like this, everyone is struggling. I think I've cried 3 times last week. I think it's just about being real to yourself and knowing that everyone is struggling. I mean, I'm giving this advice to myself, even though I just went through it yesterday. I was like, am I going to succeed? What's going to happen? I think everyone is in this situation. Everyone is depressed. I think just keep your spirits up. Try and stay positive, believe in yourself, focus your mind and your attention on things you really love doing. So for me, I'm lucky enough that our Hong Kong is now open. So I know one thing that has definitely, definitely helped me has been going for hot yoga because I need that release. So every morning I will do that. When I was stuck at home, I was making sure that I was working out every day. I did my weights, I was dancing, I was doing yoga. I think find what it is that makes you really happy and focus on those things, and just maybe write a gratitude journal. I've started that too. I list out maybe 5 things that make me really happy, and I think that puts you in a better space. Because it's I can't really give advice to everyone. Everyone is going through so much, and you could say, oh my god, you went through COVID, you had the worst time. I actually think that so many people, maybe you didn't have the virus, but you are
Mhm.
also going through it. Fathers who have to take care of their family, and then they're not getting their income, and then they're worried about their children's lives. Like, I can't even imagine. I'm just, at this point, I'm like, okay, at least I don't have people I need to take care of at this moment in time. So
Mhm.
for me, that's my, even though I want a family, I want all those things, you have to find what you should be grateful for and what is a blessing, right?
Mm. Okay.
I think
That's
that's the best way to put yourself in a positive space.
yeah, right. That's true. And how's what about you are you come out, you're done all over with this. How was the community like? I mean, the acceptance, that okay,
So
you're okay now.
initially, I was a bit scared when I came out, not just of the community, but of people in general. Like, I remember I went to a restaurant, and the girl follows me on Instagram. It's my favorite restaurant. And she was like, hi. And I thought, oh my God, she must know. She must know. What do I do? Do I give her a hug? What if she thinks even though I have the antibodies and I'm the one that should be scared of other people because
Yeah.
I'm fully safe, I was like, oh my God, what if she thinks that I'm like passing her the virus? So it's a mental thing in my own head that I was thinking, what if people don't want to meet me? What if people don't want to hang out with me because of it? And then I just thought, you're just being stupid. People were so sweet. They were so loving. Um, I did come out in public about me not liking gossip, and I was very direct about that. And I still think that in not just in our society, in many societies, there's this fear of someone having the virus, and then you just kind of make them feel awful for it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's maybe they're sending pictures of, oh, she was with this person, he was with this person, maybe she passed it on to them, and then you feel like, oh my god, I'm not an evil person, I didn't give anyone this virus intentionally, it was
Mm-hmm.
it was that sort of a thing was really making me feel low. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I came out of it, I met people I loved. There were obviously people who were a bit distant from me, but I was like, you know what? It's okay. They're trying to be safe. And then also I know like who to cut out. Just makes me a happy person. Like, okay, I know who my friends are, who aren't my friends. I know who really has my back. I know that there's so many people who will message me just to find out gossip, but it is what it is. You have to just deal with it, right?
But your life, it's normal now there. How's the life there now in Hong Kong? I
It's
mean, is it
not normal. I don't even know what
no?
normal is anymore, but it's getting back. Like, it's definitely much better, and I'm not going to complain. It's much
Mm-hmm.
better than other countries right now, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's still a fear in everyone, right? And that's always going to be there. I don't think that's going to go.
But what about you? Has your life become norm? I mean, is it normal in the sense that you're going out for your work, or you're
Yeah,
openly going out? Restaurants and all
yeah.
are open.
Restaurants are open. The gyms are open. They have implemented social distancing everywhere, but we're all in masks. I mean, yeah. Someone just said, Raven just said, "Hi, Raven." We all wear masks in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know how long this mask thing will continue. And actually, I walked in to a place, and the lady next to me didn't have a mask, and she wasn't let in. I'm trying to think where. Oh, it was a grocery store, Marks and Spencer. They didn't let her in, so that was interesting. So they're being kind of strict in some places, which is good, which is really good.
Sash, there was a question in the by Glow by MK. What about your bridal makeup bookings this year? Have they been canceled or postponed?
Like I said, most of them have postponed, and I had one bride this year who had a small intimate affair, and it was so beautiful. She still had her wedding the way I mean, not the way she planned, but even more beautiful, because it was just like close friends and family. I did her whole bridal thing, and this was only like 10 days after, no, a little longer, like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks after being released from the hospital. So for me, that was like power. I felt
Oh, wow.
so happy to be able to do that. Yeah.
That was in Hong Kong,
That
but
definitely, yeah, that was in Hong Kong. Yeah, that was
Okay.
really nice. He looked gorgeous, and it just put me back on track as well. Mentally, I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I still got it. I still got it. Because I haven't
Yeah,
done
right.
makeup in so long, right? So I'm scared. I'm like, can I still do this?
So
But it
today
was
I've applied makeup today after about 2.5 months.
oh wow.
I was like my the brush for the eyeshadow. I was like, what am I supposed to do? I was like a bit blank, you
Yeah,
know. So
yeah,
okay, Tash, there's another question here. What are the steps
yeah,
that you will be taking as a makeup artist when accepting clients before, right, or maybe before meeting the client
yeah,
or on the job?
yeah. So this is actually a really good question. Thank you so much. So basically, there, I personally, I have my own cosmetic brand, so this is a little bit easier for me. I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing and then how I suggest or my advice for other makeup artists and how they can do this in the future. I actually I do little bridal kits for brides. I don't think any makeup artist did that before, and it was kind of something I started. It was like a fun thing. So it would be bathrobes and little presents and cute things because actually my nickname from all my friends is Santa Claus because I'm always giving cute little presents to everyone. So I thought, why not do this to my brides and my clients? So I
Mhm.
created this little bridal kit. Now I've decided not to continue with that and instead give them a set of cosmetics that from my brand obviously that I will be using on them so that they have that safety of that it hasn't touched anyone else and this is exactly what they're going to get for themselves and it's theirs, they can keep it. So that's number one in terms of makeup application. Obviously sanitize, wear shoe covers, don't bring your suitcase in. These are all basic things that I think everyone can tell you. um, One of the things that I would advise makeup artists, because it's not feasible for a makeup artist to go out and buy a bunch of makeup and give it as a gift. The only reason I would do it is because it's part of my brand. And also I had this budget allocated in my own for my brides as a gift. So I understand not everyone would want to do that. But what they could do is have a service provided to the bride where
Mhm.
they can basically tell, because a makeup artist never wants to be told what products to use. So a bride can't say use all my products because then you're not going to get the real essence of what the makeup artist can do. So the makeup artist will suggest all the products that the bride can go and buy, or the makeup artist can purchase those products for the bride. So it's brand new, so she has that security in her head that, okay, no one else has touched it. It's mine to keep. And it's just, she can add it as an additional service, or I just think that that would be something that makeup artists could do in the future for sure.
Okay.
And it's a nice touch. You get to talk to the bride. You can tell her, oh, this is why I like this concealer. This will look good on you. It's nice. It's that relationship that you build.
Okay. Tash,
Yeah.
I only have about, I think, 11 minutes more to go.
No worries.
In the meantime, Tash, can I greet my Didi? Um, I want to greet a happy birthday to Didi Gita
Of
Keswan.
course.
You know her,
Happy
right, Tash? It's her
birthday.
birthday today,
Oh,
and
wow.
hope you're enjoying.
Happy
So
birthday.
anyway, Tash, any more anything else you want to say? Maybe your new products. You can just give us a hint of your upcoming ideas.
Not even give a hint. This is so difficult. And because you're my Masi, I feel bad saying no. How about I promise you that it's spectacular? And someone asked something interesting. How is life after COVID? Yeah, okay. So the death news, just, I mean, I was listening to all of that um, in the hospital. Do not listen to that. I mean, of course, listen to the news. Just keep a positive mindset. I think I'd probably like to end this with not sharing my upcoming products and diverting the attention because they're really cool and exciting. But I'm not allowed to say just yet, unfortunately. But I would probably like to end this with just saying that everyone goes through a lot in their life. And I've definitely had my fair share of roller coaster journeys. And I've definitely been in the public eye for quite a while with everything that I've done. I don't want to say that I was a victim to gossip because everyone is. Like, no matter who you are, what you're doing, everyone is going to be someone that gets spoken about once in their life. I think just have a positive mindset and keep the people that you love really close to you and have a really tight circle. And that's what you should focus on in your life and be happy.
Tash,
My
there's a question
overall
here.
goal is happiness. Yes, sorry.
No, there's a question. When was the first time
Hmm.
you decided that makeup was your line? Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. I've always done makeup since I was little. I would just, even in primary school, I would do makeup on people. When I decided to make it my career, I was doing it. I was working in fashion and PR, and I was doing TV and was doing a bunch of stuff actually. And every time I would go out, someone would say, "Hey, I really like your makeup." So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this on the side because it's side hustle. I need to make some more money. Might as well try. And I would just do makeup on the side for people and eventually fell in love with it and decided to learn. I went to New York. I did a short course and I made it my career.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
That's nice, Tash. We only have 7 minutes. Natasha, can you put tutorial on eye makeup?
I am. I am working on it. I never had time to do tutorials, honestly, but now I'm really, really, really working on it. In fact, I filmed this tutorial today and it's using some really cool tricks. I think we'll be uploading that like next week, end of next week, but really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. So not too many colors, right, Tash?
No, not too many colors. I know you probably don't like it, Masi,
No,
but
it's
I'll do
nice.
some
It's
blues.
nice. Tash, I'm using your lipstick today.
Are you using
This is,
Empire?
I don't know which color. I forgot. It's in my
Vivacious or
bag. Malika,
Empire?
can you check which color? But I love the color. It's,
Thank
I think for
you.
my age, this is I
Thank
love this
you.
color. It brings up our face. I mean, it brings up our look.
Your pictures,
And I
yeah.
think we
Thank
should
you.
also have something for our age, Tash, tutorial, skincare, facial care, you know, how to,
Yes, that requires a lot of investment. So I'm trying, each shade has a minimum order from factories. So there's a lot of things that go into starting a business and it takes a toll on you. So I will definitely try. This is the eventual goal is to have this huge empire and be able to have all these cool products, but it takes time. So I
I
want
think
to. I will.
there's a last question. What's your special ingredient in your product? In your products, what's your special ingredient?
As cheesy as this might sound, it's actually love. Like,
Yoo-hoo.
I swear, I swear, every
Uh,
time I formulate a product, there is so much love that goes into it. Um, yeah, it's love. That's my special ingredient.
Vino, thank you. Vino, I'm glowing. It's Natasha glowing. Vino,
You are
thanks to
glowing.
Natasha. No, Natasha. I've been on lockdown for about, like I said, 2.5 months, Tash.
Hmm.
And, many of us have become fairer because we're not under the
Yeah,
sun.
yeah.
Our skin
I
has
mean,
been like,
but you
usually
might
it's dry.
think of that as a good thing, right? You
Yes,
like
it's a
that?
good thing.
Yeah, I
But
didn't.
I
As
wasn't,
soon as I came out.
you're not aware that the other day I went out to drop my lady age cheesecake to my friend, and she
Mhm.
looks at me. She goes, "Aruna, you've become fairer." I'm like, "Huh?" Then I realize it's a good thing to be locked down. That you're not under the sun. You don't have
See,
to use
that's looking at the
sunblock.
positive. That's how, I mean, for you, that's positive. For me, I came out and I was like, oh my God, I look like a ghost. I do not like this. I'm 2 shades lighter on my concealer.
No, but Tash, honestly, you were looking nice in the hospital. Even in the hospital, I,
Thank
I think
you.
you didn't even have makeup. Your hair was nice. Your skin was nice. And that inspired many of us.
Really? Thank
That,
you. Because I
because,
didn't feel good.
no, really, we're going on Zoom and we're like, oh my God, what about, like you came out without makeup. It inspired many of us that it's okay if you're not, you're without
Yeah,
makeup
I
in
think
Zoom.
that's so important. This is actually a very important point. I love what this situation has done to me. I'm so much more confident about being without makeup. I don't think I was ever like this before. Like, I'm happy to show you guys my flaws now. I mean, I don't, before I'd be like, oh my God, I have to wear a little concealer or something. No, I don't care anymore. It's really nice.
That's great, Tash. Okay, we only have about 4 minutes. I'm scared that it might just close, Tash.
Yes, of course,
Any
of course.
any ending statement, Tash? Anything else you just wanna?
Literally just everything I said. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, stay positive, be grateful, and spend time with all the people you love. Because it is a crazy situation. Just be with the ones you love and appreciate them all. Yes.
Okay, thanks, Tash. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm happy.
you.
At least
Thank
I'm
you.
seeing you.
I
I
know.
was so worried when I heard about the news. We were like
I
shivering,
know.
counting the days till you come out, you know. So
I
I'm
know.
glad
I got those calls too. You're so sweet. Thank
I'm
you.
glad you're back to work,
Thank
Tash. It
you.
makes me happy to
Thank
see this.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you
Tash.
guys.
Take care.
Take
Love you,
care.
Tash.
Love you. Give my love
Guys,
to the
don't
whole
go.
family.
Viewers, don't log out first. I have an announcement to make. And
I'm
Tash, hope to
excited
see
for
you.
your comedian. Unfortunately, I'm actually at my client's house. I'm working.
Okay,
So I
no
have to
problem.
rush out. And then I'm going to watch your. I'm so excited for Kumar. He's too cool.
Okay,
He's
Tash.
too cool.
Thanks a million.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you for your inspiring talk, Tash.
Thank you.
Take care. Love you. Guys, don't forget, 9 p.m. we have a comedian. His name is Kumar. He's from Singapore. And we'd like to say thank you to our co-sponsors, Lady A, the Munchie Monk, the Movie Monk, Organic Chemist, the Sweet Tooth, Globime MK, Babuji Indian Restaurant, Rachna's Catering, Society Wines, The Petals Florist, Glamour Salon, Chit Chat, Martabaku Menteng, Makeover by Udita, and The Wise Guys. Hope to see you at 9 p.m. Please go and have your dinner now, and I'll see you later. Bye.